Hey guys, Matt here with Reach Your Summit. Spring is here. It's going to be around the mid-60s today. So I'm out on the AT enjoying the weather and doing a long hike and prepping for the 2019 Allegheny 100 again this year. I'm super excited for the event. Last year was my first year participating in it, and I ended up getting food poisoning before the event and I had it during the event, and I did 51 miles in 16 hours. So I'm looking forward to going back this year. I signed up for the full 100 again and to hopefully crushing it this year. For the Allegheny 100, it takes place in Pennsylvania in Allegheny National Forest along the North Country Trail. For the event, you can sign up for the 25 mile, 50 mile, 75 mile, or the full 100 mile. I'm signed up for the full 100. Has to be completed in 50 hours. So in this video, I want to go over the gear with you that I'm going to be bringing on the Allegheny 100, just to help those of you who are also signed up out a little bit. Also, in a couple of weeks, I'm planning on doing the whole Connecticut portion of the Appalachian Trail in a couple of days. So hit the subscribe button, check back at the end of April, early May to see that Allegheny 100 conditioning video. So let me get started. So here's pretty much all of the gear that I'll be bringing for the Allegheny 100. There are a few items I am undecided on with clothing and a couple of other items. So I'm going to determine what I'm going to bring specifically for those items as it gets closer to the event, and I'll go over those with you. Now you'll notice I also do not have footwear pictured in here. That is because the footwear that I am wearing for the Allegheny 100 is going to be the Lone Peak 4.0s, the non-waterproof version of these, which I am going to put in a picture right up here. And the reason I have these on is because I was anticipating snow today while I was out doing this long hike. Because supposedly on the AT up here, they got around 6 to 8 inches of snow a few days ago when I ended up having a lot more rain back at home. And it's been so warm out that everything is all melted. I saw very, very little snow. Today is actually more like ice and slush on the AT. The reason I'm going to be going with the non-waterproof version of these is because I like to use non-waterproof trail running shoes throughout my 3-season trips. In the winter time, I'll use some type of waterproof breathable shoe or boot, depending on my location. So with hiking 100 miles within 50 hours, I'm definitely going to be keeping up a fast pace. I'm going to need something that's breathable. If it gets wet, this event takes place in the middle of June, so I don't have to worry about having cold feet. My socks will dry relatively quick, and it'll give me better breathability to help with blister prevention. Now, I chose the Lone Peak 4.0s because I've been hearing such great things about them, and I never had any luck in the past with Lone Peaks or Ultra footwear, and for some reason these fit my feet really well. So I'm really looking forward to getting out on the trail in the next few weeks with the non-waterproof ones. I only have about 25 miles with them so far, but I'm really looking forward to getting out with them, using them a bit more. My feet are getting used to the zero drop with these RSM mid shoes, Lone Peak 4.0s. So I really love the zero drop. I love the more natural feel on the terrain. I feel more confident in my footing, and I like having the toe space too because my toes can move around more freely inside of the shoe. So my shelter that I'm going to be using on the Allegheny 100 is the Six Moon Designs Lunar Solo. This is an excellent tent. I've used it on multiple trips. Super spacious, really easy to set up. Last year I used the Ultimate Direction FK Tarp and Bivy, and that was great, but with food poisoning it was a little cumbersome setting that up around 1:30 in the morning. I'm definitely going to be hiking into the wee hours of the morning the first night, just because that's the only way that you're going to complete the challenge, is if you do night hiking and you hike really long hours through the event. So having something nice and quick to set up is going to make that easier for me. It's also going to make the challenge a little more enjoyable as it can be when you're participating in Type 2 fun. So this shelter here uses stakes So I have the MSR mini groundhogs. These are great, super durable, really easy to push into the ground. And then I have a Sil Nylon tent stake sack for those. And then this shelter does not use tent poles. It uses a single trekking pole. So I'm going to be hiking with the Black Diamond Carbon Z poles. These are fixed length for my height. I have the 120 centimeter poles. I find them to work really well. With trekking poles, I don't find that I adjust them too much, so I like having the fixed length. It doesn't bother me. It works very well with the Six Moon Designs Lunar Solo, and I used these poles last year at the Allegheny 100, and they perform very well. I have about 1,500 miles with these, so they're all scuffed up. The grips are starting to wear out, but these poles have been really, really nice to have. Great support, stability, and control in my hiking and helping carry my pack weight. And the shelter weighs 22 ounces on its own, and the trekking poles that I'll be hiking with over there weigh about 9.5 ounces as the pair. So my sleep system, I want to sleep relatively warm and comfortable, as good of a night's rest as I can get, because I'm going to be super tired and sore. I'm going to need something to help me out with this challenge. So I have the Sea to Summit Eros down pillow. This is going to be my luxury item. I've used clothes in the past. Last year I used the Sea to Summit ultralight Eros pillow. That was a great pillow, but I'm going for a little more comfort. The Eros pillow from last year weighed 2.1 ounces. This weighs 2.5. Very minimal weight penalty for extra comfort and a good feeling against the skin. And then I have the Enlightened Equipment Revelation 20-degree quilt. This uses 850 filled down tech. Will I need a 20-degree quilt for this challenge? Probably not, but this is so versatile. It's so light in weight. It weighs around 21 ounces. And I can turn this into a sleeping bag if I wanted to. I can drape it over me if I get way too warm, and I want that versatility. Last year on the Saturday of the event, it got a little chilly because a cold front was coming in, started getting damp, started feeling a little less mild, and so having something like this is going to allow me to stay a little bit warmer and comfortable when I'm more stationary and getting good night's sleep. Last year I used the Sierra Designs Cloud 35. So the pad I used last year was the Thermarest NeoAir X Lite in a short, which weighed about 8 ounces with an R value of 3.2. This year I'm going to be using the Thermarest NeoAir Uberlight. This is a regular length pad at 8.5 ounces and an R value of 2.0. I slept really comfortably in this so far, down to 34 degrees Fahrenheit, with my Revelation quilt and some clothing to supplement for extra warmth. And I slept very comfortably. This pad is excellent. I'm looking forward to getting a lot of trips out of this year. And this is super, super compact too. So I'm going for the full length for more comfort. For sleep clothing, I am actually just going to be wearing my trail running shorts that I will be hiking in during the day. And if I get too cold at night, I can throw my Outdoor Research Helium 2 rain pants over. I'm going to be bringing these because if I'm hiking at night and I start to get a little cold, I can throw these on over my legs and get a little extra wind protection. This will also help with drafts when I'm sleeping if I get chilly. And if it starts to really downpour, at least I'll have some type of rain pant to keep me relatively dry. These trail running shorts will dry pretty quickly on their own. And they have a liner inside, which is really nice, because then I don't have to worry about bringing underwear with me. I love a good pair of sleep socks, so going to be going with the Darn Tough mid-weight low-cut cushion hiking socks. With the Revelation quilt, you can get a slight draft when you cinch down the foot area to make a foot box. So this is going to give me that extra draft protection, a little bit of extra warmth. And these will be a little bit thicker than the socks I'll be wearing during the day when I'm hiking. So these are only going to be used for sleeping at night. For my sleep shirt, actually not going to be bringing anything. So last year, the North Country Trail Association and the Allegheny National Forest chapter did a great job at providing all of the participants of the event with a really nice moisture wicking, quick drying shirt. So I'm going to hope for the best with the shirt that they provide the registrants this year, and go with that as my sleep shirt. That way I'm not having to carry extra items around. The shirt I'll be hiking in during the day, I'm just going to be going with a basic Patagonia Capelline lightweight short sleeve shirt. I run very warm when I'm hiking. I found that last year with long sleeve lightweight Capelline shirt on, I ended up getting a little sweaty. So this is going to help wick away the moisture a little better and keep me a little bit drier and comfortable. And if I need to, I can sleep in this at night. For my insulation, I actually just picked this up. One of my hiking buddies told me about this from Old Navy. So this is very similar to the Patagonia R1, and this has a hood, has the waffle design. And this only weighs 8 ounces for the medium length one that I have here. So I can use that as the rest of my sleep system. The hood will be great because I won't have any warmth around my head from using the quilt. So this can supplement that. This is very comfortable. I've used it on a couple of hikes already, and I'll probably use this as part of my sleep system on some trips I have coming up, including that one on the Connecticut Appalachian Trail, just to see how it works. This was only 10 bucks, which is insane. Got it on the closeout season deal. And if I end up not happy with the performance of this, then I'm going to go with my standard go-to, which is the Patagonia R1. This fleece has been everywhere with me. I use it on winter trips, I use it on 3-season trips when it's going to be chillier out, and it's got a lot of use so far, and it's still holding up really well. Very warm, quick drying when it does get wet, and it's super comfortable. If you want to see the two up close, now if I do go with the Patagonia R1, I'm still going to need some head warmth at night. So for that, I'll go with a buff headwear. This is just a lightweight version that I have on today for my hike, and it's got the Appalachian Trail on it. If I go with the R1, I'll probably go a little bit thicker. I have a merino wool one, which I will show you right here. And the merino wool one is going to give me a little more warmth than this will, wick away moisture, and keep me comfortable at night. For my outer shell, this one I'm undecided on also, so as it gets closer to the event, I'll determine which one I'll bring. But I have the Patagonia Houdini here. This is just a very lightweight, wind-resistant, water-resistant shell. It weighs about 3.5 ounces. And I'll see how the weather reports are as it gets closer to the event. I might go with this. It has a nice cinch on the back of the hood, so I can close that down around my head. If I don't go with this, and it ends up being cooler and rainier, and then I'll go with the Patagonia Rainshadow Stretch. This jacket is excellent. It breathes very well. It too has a draw cord on the back of the hood, and it has a brim on the front, so this can go over my hat or over the top of my head. Give me a little extra rain protection. It's a full featured jacket, so it has some really nice pit zips, which help enhance breathability when I'm hiking. And it's not too bad in weight either. For a full featured waterproof breathable jacket, this is about 9.5 ounces. So my hiking socks, I will be going with the Darn Tough cycling socks. So last year I used Swiftwick cycling socks. I like going with the cycling socks on a lot of my hikes because they're liner-like, so they dry a little bit quicker. They wick moisture away really well, especially if they are polyester, nylon, or merino wool like these. And I'm going to have 2 pairs, so I can rotate them if I need to, if it's super wet. I can also use both of these to help with blister prevention, with rotating them. Use these socks and this brand on almost all of my trips, and they're excellent, super comfortable. And once you find something that works for you, it's kind of tough to go with something else. Gators, I'm undecided with Gators. I used them last year. These are actually the pair I used last year, and they had a ton of miles on them. And what happened was, within the first 10 miles, one of the straps snapped on this one, and then around mile 36 or 37, the strap snapped on the other one. So if I do go with Gators, I'm probably going to go with Ultra Gators for the Ultra Lone Peak 4.0s, or Dirty Girl Gators, but I'm still undecided on Gators. And yeah, they help keep my feet clean in the past, but when I haven't used them, I haven't really noticed too much going into my shoes, and that could just be with the way that I step on the trail. So I'm undecided on those currently. Maybe with my shakedown trips coming up, I'll be able to see how the Ultra Gators work when I pick them up. For my head, I'm going to just have a nice lightweight nylon mesh ball cap, and that is going to give me sun protection. It's going to keep my head relatively dry, and this is also going to pair with my bug net. So last year on the Allegheny 100, the mosquitoes were relentless in some sections, especially when I stopped on a few of the forest roads to take a quick break. So this is awesome to have. I always carry this on my trips when it's really warm and humid out, and this has always helped keep my sanity, make the experience a little more enjoyable. I'm able to focus on my maps and not go crazy with swatting bugs out of my eyes all the time. Additional sun protection, I'm going to be using the Native Hardtop Ultras. These sunglasses are great with the frameless bottom. Get a little better breathability and flex with the lenses, and I get really good wind protection and dust protection with these, and the polarized. So my other sun protection is SPF 30 Sawyer, and then I have some lip balm, and the Body Glide helped me out a lot last year. I always carry this on through hikes and endurance challenges, whether it's Body Glide or some type of anti-chafe balm or healing balm. This helped me out a lot. I started to feel a hot spot last year, stopped, rinsed my socks off in a creek, put this on, put my dry socks on, put my footwear on, and my feet were saved. This has helped me out a lot. I'll also apply this on at night before I go to sleep, just to help with the following day. And don't want to get any blisters on 100 miles in 50 hours. So a lot of this stuff I'm going to be treating with permethrin, which is what this head net has actually. Insect Shield is the company that puts the repellent on, but I'm going to be using Sawyer permethrin, which is right here. And the Sawyer permethrin is going to work against ticks and mosquitoes and flies and gnats, but most importantly the ticks. With the warm weather now, the ticks are out. A lot of this stuff is treated already. I'll be reapplying it as the 6 weeks or 6 washings comes into play. And this is going to give me good bug protection and also help with preventing tick-borne illnesses. And then for my skin, I'll be using picaridin, which is synthetic and it's based off of the pepper plant. It won't harm any of my gear, it won't harm any synthetic materials, it has a pleasant smell, and it will be safer for my skin, and it's just as effective as 30% DEET without those chemicals. This, along with the permethrin and the head net, helped me out a lot last year, and it helps me out on all of my trips, especially up here in New England and the White Mountains, Vermont, Connecticut, Massachusetts. So last year I went stoveless, and if I go stoveless again this year, I'm going to just use the Sea to Summit X Mug. It's a food grade silicone, so it can tolerate hot liquids in there or cold liquids. So I used this last year. I made some coffee, put the coffee in there, and it worked really well. A couple of ounces, packs up like that. If I end up deciding that I do want to have some hot coffee or a warm meal or a warm snack, then I'm going to use the Toaks 550 milliliter pot with the BRS stove and some fuel. I have a video I put up recently of the BRS right here, and the Toaks pot and some other stoves, so you can check that out. I'll put the link for that video in the description for this video. And altogether, this pot weighs 2 ounces, the stove is under an ounce, my little bamboo utensil is under half an ounce, and the fuel canister, I can go with one that's slightly used and save on some weight too, so maybe about 4.5 ounces. So that I'm undecided on right now, and as it gets closer to the event, I will decide on that. I'll put together another video for you talking about nutrition and hydration on the event within the next few weeks. But for my food storage, I'm going to be going with just a lightweight dry bag. And then in here I have my rock bag, 50 feet of cordage, and one of those OP lock sacks. I am going with odor protection, and I am going with the PCT method because I like to follow leave no trace principles when I'm on my trips, also helping keep the wildlife wild. For the bathroom, I'll be using an REI snow stake. This will be my camp trowel, and this will also work as an additional tent stake should I need it. In here I have my gear repair kit, so it's got some Cuban fiber tape for my pack, which I'll show you in just a second. Also some toothbrush, toothpaste, some small first aid items like antihistamines, anti-inflammatory, bandages. And then I also have a sleeping pad patch kit, some super glue, some aqua seal, some tenacious tape. And then I have a couple of emergency items. So I have a lighter in here which will work with my stove should I choose to use it. But then I also have some purification tablets if I need to use those at any point in time. A whistle, some very tiny items. Keep everything inside of here so I know that it's all right in this one yellow stuff sack. Multi-tool. This is all that I need. This is all that I've ever needed, actually. And I brought this on the Allegheny 100 last year with me. Didn't even need it. But it has tweezers, it has a toothpick, has a small knife blade, a couple of screwdrivers, a pair of scissors. That's all I need. I'm not looking to survive out in the woods. I'm looking to hike, enjoy the experience, and address minor medical situations should they arise, or minor emergency situations. So for water filtration, I'm going with the Sawyer Micro this year, and I have a LifeWater sport cap on the top, so it's very easy to open, drink from, pour water out of. And this thing weighs 2 ounces. Last year I used the Cat9 Be Free, and I used that for 2 years, and it's still one of my favorite filters. But with this recently put out on the market, I was really excited to try this out. In the past I had used the Sawyer Mini, and I found that to be very cumbersome, very, very painfully slow flow rate with the water. This I'm really excited for. I've had some great experiences with it so far, and it's great. Better flow rate than the Mini. And then I'll be carrying some LifeWater water bottles or Smart Water water bottles. Doesn't really matter. The reason I'm also using these bottles is because they work very well with the Sawyer Micro. So for lighting, I'm going with the Black Diamond Spot. This is 200 lumens, and it has the red light so I can look at my maps at night if I need to. You need to night hike on the Allegheny 100 if you are signed up for the 100-mile challenge in order to complete it within the time frame. So along with the extra batteries, I'm also going to be bringing an external battery pack, and this is the Anker PowerCore 10,000, and I can charge my iPhone 7 that I'm filming with up to 5 times before I need to recharge this. Also, I'm going to have the Suunto 3 watch, which I'm going to be using to help with keeping track of my mileage and the time and my heart rate. And so with my phone and the watch, I'm going to need an external battery pack to keep those charged throughout the weekend. The watch, I might need to get one charge. Depending on the amount of filming that I do, I'm hoping to film the challenge quite a bit, then I might end up needing to use a couple of charges for my phone. So this will be plenty for what I'm going to be doing during this challenge. My other electronics, I'm going to have the Spot Gen 3. So this is a one-way satellite communication messenger, and this will allow my girlfriend and my friends who are following me back home keep track of my progress, and also receive messages that I have preset on here to send to them each night if they're on my contact list. I've never had a message fail on me. It's always been 100%. The tracking is definitely more spottier, but that will allow me to let them know I'm okay and to be able to still enjoy the experience and not be texting quite a bit. I have Verizon for my phone, and I found that I had service in some spots, but when I didn't, this worked really well. So for that challenge, I have the AT map here just because I'm out on the AT right now. I'm more of a traditionalist. I love having maps with me at all times, just in case something came up, no matter how familiar I am with the area. So I'll have the Suunto 3 compass, which I brought with me last year, and that can go with my maps for this challenge, which will be a color copy of the map that I bought from the North Country Trail Association. And this is a 1 in 100,000 scale, and I printed it on an 11 by 14 waterproof piece of paper, so that way I can view it. You can see how nice and open it is. You can see everything. I've jotted down a few notes for places where I'm planning on camping and water sources, and then I also have some more detailed maps. These are 1 in 31,680, so they're a little more detailed than this map will be, so I can plot things out through this. These maps I just printed out on the North Country Trail Association website. They were free, and then you can jot down notes from this onto your color maps here if you choose to. I'm only going to be bringing this one. I don't need to bring all those other unnecessary maps. I can jot notes down from those to this and just use this on the challenge. I'll be fine. The trail is really well maintained, and it was blazed in a light blue similar to the color here, and it was very easy to follow, especially when you have hundreds of other people out there on the trail hiking with you around the same time. And then to carry all of this, I'm going to be using the Atom Pack's Atom 40. This pack has been awesome. This is a Cuban fiber pack, and it's going to give me plenty of room for everything that I need for the challenge. I have a snack pocket down at the bottom here, which I have some snacks in right now. Goo gel. This is actually really good. Fig bar. And some Sour Patch Kids. Love me some Sour Patch Kids on the trail. So, got those for now. So this snack pocket is great. This will allow me to have snacks throughout the challenge when I need them. Bottle pockets. These are big enough for a couple of bottles, and they're around 2.5 liters in size. I think in my past video I said that they were 5 liters each. They're actually 5 liters together, so I apologize for that. And then I have some shot cord here. Another 5 liters on the front outside here for extra storage. This pack has been awesome. It carries super comfortably. My base weight is typically around 6 or 7 pounds. I think for this challenge I'll be more around like 7.5, depending on the gear that I choose to bring with that clothing and stuff. But aside from that, I'll have plenty of extra capacity for carrying the extra weight with the food and water. Because this is a frameless and hip beltless pack, I'm going to also have my Thermarest Z seat. This is going to give me extra padding in the back so things aren't digging into my back, so I can have a little extra comfort. And then if I'm taking breaks and there's a wet rock or a wet stump, kind of like that, then I can just set that down and stay dry, stay comfortable, stay healthy. And then I may or may not go with a trash compactor bag. The Cuban fiber is going to give waterproofing to the pack, but if I need to get in and out of this pack and it's raining out, it would be nice to have a little extra water protection if I don't have anywhere where I can get coverage from the rain. So this is a 40-liter pack, and it weighs 12 ounces. And then I have hand sanitizer here for interim cleaning. Another pocket on the shoulder here for snacks or for my phone if I wanted to carry it like that. So that'll be my pack. And then the sheet that I have all of this gear on, this is my Tyvek ground cloth that I will be using for the Six Moon Designs Lunar Solo. So last year I used an emergency space blanket as my ground cloth for the bivvy, and it worked well, but it is prone to puncturing a little easier. And I've used polycro in the past, and then I've only had about 100-200 miles with that before that punctured, so I'm going with more durability this time around for the challenge. In case I end up coming to a place where I need to settle down for the night, I'm feeling tired on this challenge, and it's a little rockier and rootier than I had planned on. For the most part, with the maps and good map reading skills and looking around at the terrain, I didn't have any issues with having good campsite selection on this challenge. So there you have it. This is all the gear that I'm going to be bringing with me on the 2019 Allegheny 100 Challenge. If you have any questions on any of this gear, please feel free to get in touch with me in a comment below, or you can also contact me at reachyoursummit.net. For all of my fellow participants that are signed up for the Allegheny 100 this year, really look forward to sharing the trails with you and wish you all the best of luck. If you have any questions on this or the event itself, please feel free to get in touch with me. I'd be happy to help to the best I can. And if you'd like to see the video I'll be putting together on nutrition and hydration for this event, also my conditioning hikes, including the full Connecticut section of the Appalachian Trail, and a whole bunch of other gear videos and trips. Hit the subscribe button. I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing and for your comments. As always, see you on the trail.